Good evening. Petroleum product smuggling and disaster management are two sides of the same coin in the indices of issues that take progress and progression off the track. One affects earnings, the other affects lives, which the NNPC is committed to touching in many positive ways. Concerted efforts and partnership are what the stories are largely about in this edition. Gas continues to worm its way to power the plants. NNPC is pumping up the volume, as it were. And by the way, 1.92 trillion naira was on the table for the first quarter of 2019 for allocation and distribution. That's according to the NBS. Thanks for joining us as always. My name is Akin Agbijule. This is Oil and Gas Forum.
This is a man from the point of view of transparency. You can say you trust him, you believe in him.
No panic to buy fuel for black market. NNPC go bring fuel for all motorists.
NNPC say them get fuel jabrata for ground. Saboteur. All of una wey dey tiff with fuel and petroleum station wey dey hot smuggle and divert our fuel go neighboring country. Plus people wey dey build small tank and sell fuel pass our government price of 145 naira per litre. Stop am o. Because why? Na big offense now. Na jail straight away. NNPC say our government no increase fuel price. Na still 145 naira per litre. So therefore, no buy black market, no do panic buying. Enough fuel dey wey go round. Nigerians, if you see any petrol station where they sell fuel pass our government price of 145 naira per litre, kia report to the nearest security agency when near you or the Department of Petroleum Resources. Na Ndu Ohamado, Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, NNPC, sign this message.
Let's check out the highlights. No hiding place anymore for the bad guys. A high-powered joint committee to be set up to get them down. And another collaborative partnership to provide the milk of human kindness for those afflicted. Latest number is 300 million standard cubic feet of gas per day pump up of gas to power plants. Did you know that NNPC is doing 75% of that? Now you know, and more complementary numbers to this all are on the other side of details.
The Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru, has challenged members of the Society of Petroleum Engineers, SPE, to come up with a blueprint for energy security and sustainability in Nigeria. Dr. Baru gave the charge at the 2019 Annual Society of Petroleum Engineers, SPE, Oloibiri Lecture Series, and Energy Forum in Abuja. In a presentation entitled Energy Security and Sustainable Development in Nigeria, The Way Forward, the GMD recounted the huge national energy deficit, stressing that as the second largest economy in Africa, demand for energy was growing at a very rapid rate.
The primary source of current power supply is gas and hydro. The future consumption, which is expected to drive growth by 2025, will need aggressive development of gas and renewable projects to meet the exponential demand.
He listed efforts by the corporation to bridge the energy supply-demand gap, to include accelerated development of gas resources and facilities, rehabilitation of existing refineries, investment in renewable energy projects, and focus on exploration of the frontier basins to boost reserves. The NNPC helmsman noted that Nigeria was facing a new challenge in the form of competition from new oil production centers across the globe, particularly in Africa, adding that there was need to unlock new barrels as quickly as possible to stay relevant in the new emerging world.
Worried by the growing incidence of petroleum products smuggling across the nation's border towns, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation NNPC, Nigeria Customs Service NCS, and the Department of Petroleum Resources DPR have agreed to inaugurate a joint committee to tackle the menace head-on. The strategic move to tame the malaise was decided at a meeting at the Customs House in Abuja, attended by the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC), Dr. Mekanti Baru, the Controller General of Customs, Colonel Hamid Ali retired, and the Director of the DPR, Mr. Mordecai Ladan. The NNPC GMD stated at the meeting that smuggling of petroleum products across the nation's borders was causing serious loss to the nation's revenue generation drive and had been subverting government's efforts to ensure adequate supply of petroleum products in all parts of the country.
You are subsidizing wherever this product is being taken to. If it's 10 million liters, 7 billion naira on a daily basis. This is a lot of loss of revenue and monies that could have been used for other developmental purposes locally.
Earlier in his remarks, the Comptroller General of Customs, Colonel Hamid Ali retired, said the joint committee was necessary in order for the three organizations to collaborate and find a lasting solution towards halting smuggling of petroleum products.
We're going to work on that, set up the roadmap, and then the task force that will do that will emerge. And now it's our hope that we'll be able to reduce this menace to the barest level.
Also speaking, the Director of DPR, Mordecai Ladan, said the department was open to collaborations with sister government agencies towards addressing the menace of smuggling.
We're going to go all out to identify the unscrupulous personalities behind this fraudulent act.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has expressed its readiness to partner the Nigerian Red Cross Society (NRCS) towards developing the capacity of the corporation's staff on disaster management. Group Managing Director of the corporation, Dr. Mekanti Baru, disclosed this while receiving the Secretary General of the NRCS, Mr. Abubakar Ahmed Kende, in his office in Abuja. Dr. Baru, who described the NRCS's work as very crucial to human existence and survival, said partnership with the society would help tremendously in managing disasters and emergency situations across the country.
You can predict where a disaster could occur, when it's going to occur, how it's going to occur. So the best you could do is to prepare for it. And to prepare for it is through training.
Earlier in his remarks, the Secretary General of the Society, Mr. Kende, said when people were trained even on little things, such as first aid, they would be empowered to handle critical emergency situations and save lives.
The highlight of our engagement is to solicit for cooperation and collaboration from the Apex Management and NPC in our response to disasters and emergencies across Nigeria.
The Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC), Dr. Mekanti Baru, has revealed that the NNPC had increased daily gas supply to power plants to 300 million standard cubic feet per day. Dr. Baru made this disclosure during the conferment on him of the Distinguished Merit Award by the Association of Business Managers and Administrators of Nigeria in Abuja.
The credit will definitely go to my boss, Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He's the chief arrestor of fuel queues and scarcity because he believed in us, in our programs from NNPC. He also supported us with the necessary resources and policies.
He said the corporation currently has 1.7 billion liters of petrol in stock, equivalent to 35 days sufficiency without adding a drop, saying plans were afoot to increase it to 2.4 billion liters by the end of the month. Speaking earlier, Registrar of the Association of Business Managers and Administrators of Nigeria, Dr. Ike Christopher, said Dr. Baru was selected for the Merit Award because of his role in the disappearance of fuel queues from fuel stations, especially during the last Christmas and New Year festivities.
For every action taken, there must be someone that is propelling the action. So he has been the one that has been preparing to make sure that we don't have queues again.
Winning the competition, there was the obvious monetary benefits and the scholarship, per year throughout my university education. But much more than that financial benefit was the, benefit that came with the aura of winning the competition. The competitive spirits, working with different people and just, pushing myself to the edge, knowing that I could be better, I could, answer those questions correctly. Having to work as a team with other teammates within, a very limited amount of time to give specific answers that were correct to the judges.
NNPC. We touch your lives in many positive ways.
The Integrated Data Services Limited, IDSL, the premier geological and geophysical subsidiary of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has revealed that it is aggressively boosting its seismic data acquisition technologies and capacities to handle 90% of all seismic exploration projects in the country, with a view to supporting the federal government aspiration of growing the national reserves base to 40 billion barrels. IDSL Managing Director, Engineer Morrison Taria, who made this known in his office in Benin, Edo State, stated that IDSL was in strategic partnership with BGP of China to capture 90% data acquisition market share in Nigeria and other sub-regions in Africa. He disclosed that the company had 34 young IDSL engineers on board the 4 Shell offshore seismic projects and also 8 of his other engineers in Beijing, China for a year, all undergoing training to boost their capacity.
We have also set ourselves a target that by 2020, where the 34 people who are training and the 8 people that are in China, middle level management, we should be able to be in a good position to say, hey, we've had enough of working with you. We want to stand alone. We want to get our own independence. So those are the things we are doing to ensure that we can grow in-house capacity to stand as the G&G Center of Excellence.
Engineer Taria explained that at the moment, the IDSL was handling 6 major data acquisition projects in Benue, Nasarawa, Plateau and Bauchi states, as well as 2 in the Niger Delta region, stressing that substantial progress had been recorded in the Kolmani River 2-well exploration activities.
Currently, we have 6 major data acquisition projects. There are 4 in the Benue Trough area, then 1 in the heart of Niger Delta, and 1 offshore. The offshore project with Shell, we have 3 OMLs that we are currently acquiring seismic data for Shell, and that I'll call that our signature project.
He said that IDSL had deployed the Ocean Bottom Nodal System Technology, OBN, in the data acquisition and exploration activities of the 3 oil mining licenses, OML, owned by Shell, saying that the project was a signature project for the company, which would go a long way to further show up its profit margin. As part of concerted efforts to fast-track the consumption of liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, otherwise known as cooking gas, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, and its exploration and production subsidiary, Nigerian Petroleum Development Company Limited, NPDC, are set to unveil the largest LPG and propane storage and dispensing facility in Oredo, Benin City. The facility, which is an extension of the Integrated Gas Handling Facility plant, has the capacity to dispense 330 tons of LPG and 300 tons of propane daily, in addition to the 100 million standard cubic feet of gas per day and 260 barrels per day condensate from the plant. The managing director of NPDC, Mr. Yusuf Matashi, said the plant would be a game changer for the national oil company, as both facilities, when commissioned, would be a huge revenue stream for the federal government.
NPDC is today #1 single company supplying gas to domestic market. Out of this gas supply to domestic market, 90% of it are targeting the power generation sector and largely driving the Nigerian economy.
He stated that before the end of 2019, NPDC would be producing 40% of the nation's LPG requirements, adding that the facility was centrally positioned to supply LPG to Lagos, South-South, Southeast, and the North, in order to grow its consumption across the country. He posited that NPDC's production outlook for 2019-2020 was on the bright side, stressing that the company was aggressively pursuing its drilling and field development programs as approved by the management of NNPC.
Before the end of the year, Oredo will be producing about 40% of the basic LPG requirement, with intent that propane coming out of Oredo by design and by the capacity of the plant, when commissioned, will be producing 335 metric tons per day.
The Federation Account Allocation Committee had disbursed 1.92 trillion naira to the three tiers of government in the first quarter of 2019, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. The NBS said this in fact monthly allocation for January, February and March 2019 disbursement statistics, which featured on its website. The Bureau said FAC disbursed 649.19 billion naira to the three tiers of government in January, 660.37 billion naira in February, and 619.86 billion in March. Out of the 1.92 trillion naira, the federal government got 803.18 billion in the quarter. States received 530.14 billion naira, while the local government received 398.43 billion naira.
Contrary to the thinking that liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, also known as cooking gas, is only for a certain class of people, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has stated that the LPG market in Nigeria has room for everyone to operate. The Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru, made this assertion at the Argos West Africa LPG conference, which held in Abuja. Speaking at the conference, the GMD, who was represented by his technical assistant downstream, Mr. Abdul Kabir Ahmed, contended that the challenges faced in the nation's LPG sector provide opportunities for people from all strata of the Nigerian society to make a fortune.
We see the need to put in place relevant policies and regulations to stimulate the industry and encourage LPG utilization, while the infrastructure deficit provide opportunities for investors to play critical roles in the industry.
According to the GMD, the infrastructural bottlenecks and lack of institutional and commercial regulatory framework, which bedeviled the gas sector, could be exploited and converted into wealth-creating opportunities.
Good evening and welcome to another eye-opening feedback segment of the program. I am Julia Auta. Today, our roving camera is in the ancient city of Benin in Edo State to find out from the people if they know the following NNPC subsidiaries, NPDC and IDSL.
Nigerian Petroleum Development Company.
Okay, what about IDSL?
I don't really know about IDSL, but I know of NPDC.
NPDC, Nigeria Petroleum Development Company.
What about IDSL?
I can't really say.
Nigeria Petroleum Development Company.
What about IDSL?
Integrated Data Processing. The last one that I don't really know the last one.
The full meaning of NPDC is Nigerian Petroleum Development Company. Delta Integrated Development Company also, which is IDSL.
NPDC is Nigerian Petroleum Development Company or Commission. IDSL is Integrated Data Service, or I don't know. I'm not too familiar with these people.
National Petroleum Development Commission. That's the meaning. IDSL. I really don't have an idea of IDSL, but I know they're into data or something. But
NPDC NNPC means Nigerian Petroleum Development Company Limited, and IDLC stands for Integrated Data Services Limited. The two companies are headquartered here in Benin. And this is the much time will allow us on this segment. Please stay with us for more on the program.
Hello and welcome to this segment of the program. My name is Tola Obwadi. Did you know that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, does not employ the services of any agents or third parties for the sale and purchase of Nigerian crude oil, natural gas liquids, and liquefied petroleum gas mix? Did you know that NNPC does not introduce or recommend its potential term contract holders to any third party or agents? Did you know that NNPC does not have any off-OPEC allocations? Likewise, NNPC does not require companies to pay any money into individuals' personal or companies' accounts or any account that is not designated by the government for crude oil, natural gas liquids, and LPG mix. Finally, did you also know that NNPC does not issue any authority to sell to individuals or companies? Now you know. Please stay tuned for the rest of the program.
Hello and welcome to Global Crude Oil Outlook. Brent crude oil rose above $75 per barrel for the first time in 2019 in the wake of tightening sanctions in Iran, while gains in prices were crimped by a surge in U.S. supply. Brent crude futures rose to a 2019 high of $75.01 per barrel on Thursday, up 33 cents or 0.4% from their last close. U.S. West Texas Intermediate WTI crude futures were at $65.94 per barrel, up 5 cents from their previous settlement. Traders said Brent was receiving support on Thursday from a halt of Russian oil exports to Poland and Germany via a pipeline due to quality concerns. The United States this week said it would end all exemptions for sanctions against Iran, demanding countries halt oil imports from Tehran from May or face punitive actions from Washington. The U.S. decision to try and bring down Iran oil exports to zero comes amid supply cuts led by producer Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries OPEC since the start of the year, aimed at stabilizing the market. As a result, Brent prices have risen by almost 40% since January. On the supply side, U.S. crude oil production has risen by more than 2 million barrels per day since early 2018 to a record of 12.2 million barrels per day, currently making the United States the world's biggest oil producer ahead of Russia and Saudi Arabia. And that's about the size of crude oil outlook on this edition of the program. My name is Solomon Iopave.
We are very impressed, one, with the stand of NNPC, two, because of their consistency. You can see the number of awards NNPC won. The most award that really impressed me is the courteousness of their personnel. It is very, very astonishing and amazing.
This is oil well. Oil well. And this is what the Ghanaians called black gold. There is plenty money in this business. By this time tomorrow, I'm going to buy a brand new jeep. Jeep. Next month, I'm going to buy a whole house. House. Yes. You need to show me the way. Show us the way. You mean you want to be rich? Oh yes. You want to level up? Oh yes. You see, the ones there. Let's go and pack it. And after that, I will take you there. Let's go. Oga, sir, these people have started their operation again. I beg, send me 5 battalions.
Gee, guys, thank you, sir. So, sir, you can buy everything you want to buy.
I will buy a shop.
You are under arrest. Your hand on your head. If you move, I move you. Let me warn you all. Anybody or community that is involved in vandalization of our oil pipeline will face the wrath of the law.
NNPC, we touch your lives in many positive ways.
That's been Oil and Gas Forum for this week. We hope you found it very delightsome. A lot of takeaways there, especially in the retrospect of what goodies we enjoyed in Q1. Enjoy your week, and let's do this stakeholdership next week. Bye.